TSO released their TDS-13 dog stop, and in this video I'm going to tell you all about it. Hi, I'm Ron Paulk, and this is the Smart Wood Shop. What's a dog stop in a TDS-13? TSO already has the TDS-10. What they did was design that based on the demands of woodworkers, needs of woodworkers that were unmet by anybody else. That tends to be what TSO does. They're a small tool company that is very nimble, and they respond to our needs. It's like we have our own little custom company that we can say, I want to design this, I need this, I have this need, and they go to work, they do all the prototyping, all the designing, and they test, and then they ask for a little help to test them out in the field, then they refine them and make them better and better. From my perspective, these bench stops are incredibly flexible bench dogs. So with bench dogs, we can drop them, any number of them, different sizes, in any of our 20 millimeter holes anywhere on the bench, and create very custom layouts to help us in whatever our project is. I don't know of a more flexible system than the MFT system on the market. But with these, you can then adjust between the hole spacing layout and get a more continuous contact. For example, I can put two bench dogs here and push this material up against it. But if I want to keep it tight to this side for an operation I'm doing, the way you just saw me do these drawer sides that I'm putting the mortises in, I either have to hold it in place or I have to put a clamp on it. Now I can come in and adjust them to fit so that they're nice and tight. So I've got my regular dogs on this side, and then I've slid this stop over just by taking a 5 millimeter Allen wrench, loosening up the screws that go into the bench dogs. I can slide this and have that additional adjustment to get right to what I need. When I'm set up making drawers for drawer sides, drawer parts for a big cabinet job, I'm going to be cutting dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, of different sides, and they're going to vary in height. The depth will be the same on most of them, so with this backstop, I can set that up, put in my two dogs, and then this one can be a floater. So I can start down here at my narrowest, make all of those, then step up to my next size. All I have to do is move this over and then come up tight to it, cinch it down, and now I'm adjusted to make my, whatever action I'm doing. In this case, I'm cutting mortises. And then if I have wider drawers, if I go to the 8s or the 10s, then I have the flexibility to move the dog stop out to the next set of holes, and again, make the adjustment in and out to fit, the different size of material that I have. That would be useful in many applications, not just in making drawers. And by having the dog stop adjustable in the back, I can then bring the material right out to the edge of the bench. I'm able to adjust the dog stop to what my needs are. In this case, I'll just push it just so it's out flush to the edge, tighten it up. And now I have this floater over here, again, to make, the adjustments right up to the material. Combining the fixed bench dogs and then the ability to take the dog stop and use all of the space between a set of holes. It gives me 100% use of the entire bench top, and I don't need to come up with a piece of material and clamp it down. I've done that stuff quite a bit. I did not have the TDS-10, so this is my first time actually using these, and I was thinking about all of the scenarios I've gone through in the years, decades, how this simple design, this beautifully machined piece of aluminum with a slot down the middle and then a rabbeted slot so that these stainless steel Allen screws can drop into the top of these chamfer dogs and allow me all of that adjustability with simply a 5mm hex key. They did have to create these dogs with the chamfer top, again, because if you use a typical dog, they'll have the collar on them that keeps them above the bench. And so then you'd be floating way up in the air and you'd lose your low profile. The TDS-13s could also be a very convenient stop for repetitive cuts using the Paulk Smart Bench or any MFT table. Again, with the layout of the 20mm holes, we know that everything is perfectly square. So if I drop in a couple of bench dogs to push the material up to, and I set up my saw and a couple of more bench dogs, I know that I've got a perfectly square cut. So all I need to do is, if I want to make the same cut over and over again, I could just make a mark and we'll call it 800mm. So I have my one-time cut set up, and now I could take my next board, measure, and put it right to the line, and measure and put it right to the line. But with these, I can just drop one in, set it right to the board where I want it, tighten it down. Now with the operation all set up, I can make my cut, which I'm not going to do here because I don't want to spoil a perfectly good board that can be used for another project. I have my next board, drop it in place, no adjustments to be made, and make my next cut. The TDS-13s, being low profile, really aid when it comes to sanding. In the past, if I wanted to sand, I'd either lay it up there and hold it, or I'd clamp it down and sand, and then move the clamp and sand. In this case, because they're below the surface of half-inch material, so they'll allow me to sand half-inch and thicker material, again, without moving them. In this situation, I've set it up so that I can put this size material in and then just come in, grab the next one, and drop it in and continue. And then, just like with making the mortises in the end, when it comes time to go to a wider piece, simply loosen up the dog stop, move it over, lock it in, ready to sand again. These are just a couple of ideas of what can be done with these. What I'd like to challenge you to do is come up with some of your own scenarios of how these work. And when you do that, if you will make a video, it can even be an iPhone video. Just make sure you shoot it horizontally, because YouTube is 16:9 and we won't have that vertical. Shoot it like that, or have somebody else do it for you. Show us your example of how you use them, or a couple of situations, and I will put together a compilation video showing all the ways that the TSO TDS-13 can be used, and then post it here for us all to take advantage of. Thanks for dropping into the Smart Wood Shop. You stay safe and have a great day.